Hey folks, I'm just making this video today just to demonstrate what the average everyday hunt for me and most hunters looks like. It doesn't all involve lots of trigger pulling. It's not all massive red stags dropping the deck. It's a lot of time, preparation, hard work, and just good, natural, healthy, happy time spent in the bush. At the end of this video, I'm going to just talk about a little bit of the prior and preparation and the lengths that we might have to go to achieve these goals. Hope you enjoy this video. I hope it's helpful to some of you. Alrighty, well, out to a spot I haven't been in a while, and I climbed some hills today and try and kill something. It's just the start of October, first week of October. It's dry. It's super dry. In fact, hasn't been this dry for ages. Living in the Blue Mountains as I do, fire danger is something I worry about. I'm in outdoor education, that's my work, so I take kids hiking all the time, and that scares the shit out of me a little bit more. This is about hunting though. Super dry. This can help your hunting though when you're planning it. It's all about using the weather to your advantage to narrow down your search and just think like a deer. I mean, they're still out here. And I'm not just hunting deer today, I also see if any wild pigs or goats around, because any meat that I can get now in spring, I need to kind of stock up for over the summer months when I'm probably going to do a lot more fishing. So that's the plan today. Basically, if it's a good, healthy, four-legged animal, I'd like to shoot it. I would like to shoot a goat if they're around, because I don't know, it's just a bit of a change from venison. I eat a lot of that, and I love it, of course. But yeah, some crows would be mad. How does this weather help me in my hunt? I know that if everything's so bone dry, and it's just crap. I mean, look at all this bracken behind us. The pines survive a bit, but it's filth. I'm going to be looking for south-facing gullies. We're still at the time of year where the sun's still a bit further north in the sky at midday. Those south-facing gullies will get less sunlight, hopefully retain their moisture a bit longer than the others, and that's the only place that the deer are going to go. It's the only place the animals are going to want to feed in particular. They might live in some of the dry stuff during the day, but I know that if they're going to be feeding anywhere, they're only going to go into the small patches of the forest that actually have any green growth left. That, or they're going to go to the fringe. So two plans today: go check out a whole bunch of south or southwestern facing gullies, and I'm going to cruise along one section of fringe which I haven't checked out before. And if there's any trails or sign or anything like that, I'm going to put a camera up there and hopefully see what's going on February next year, just in time for deer season to kick off again. That's the plan, Stan. Good times. Yeah, so the one mistake I guess I've made, kind of intentionally, is I don't have binos with me. It's because my binos are fucked. They're clogged. They're fogged up. Got moisture inside of them. And I was going to borrow Tristan's, but he's off with his girlfriend for the next few days. But I still came out anyway because I've got what I'm holding here. I've got the camera. It's got a great zoom on it, so it's still my plan to go get some get some elevation, look down on these south-facing gullies, and just give it some time, because what was that beat? 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's daylight savings anyway. So still want to get myself to a good spot where I can have a bit of a sit and wait and really use this tool to my advantage to zoom in and on. It's still, guys, I think binoculars are an essential tool of the hunter. I've heard some people just say, well, in forests I don't use them all that much, blah blah blah. You'll say that until you need them and you don't have them. 8 times mag by 40 tends to be pretty good. I actually been using Tristan's 10 by 42s lately, and I really like them, but I think 8 by 40, 8 by 42 is the ideal set of binos for a hunter. Anyway, I'm going to keep hunting. Oh, that's a very good sign. And whenever I'm after goats, I'll just come to a rocky outcrop like this, and see it goes up that way too, and I just move straight on up and I look to see if there's any fresh pellets around. I don't get too stalky with goats. I think the main thing with goats is just to put massive amounts of legwork in, and of course choose your territory, go to their habitat. Goats love hanging out on this rocky ledgy stuff. They seem to be able to eat anything. I mean, they'll go down to the creeks of course to get a good feed, but they'll definitely live up here. And if you see the pellets and stuff around, either keep going up and down that ridgeline, glass a bit, or get down to the creeks that are directly near where this is. Goats don't seem to follow a pattern so much like deer. They can just be a bit random. They're stupid animals. They really are, but they will cover a lot of ground, so you've got to cover the ground to find them. Anyway, that's my strategy. Found nothing here, so I'm going to go another 2 k's that way and see if I can find another little outcrop. Close to the afternoon, I'll start looking for some deer. Oh, I'm on gold here. I'm getting very excited. Now this is the time where I start failing. Excitement doesn't help me. Enthusiasm's good in life, but I need to chill. I need to accept that today might be a learning day. I might not get a deer. It's okay, but I'm so freaking fired up. I just got to think with a clear head. Fuck. I'm expecting the deer to come from that way. There's a whole bunch of little game trails down in this little gut here, crisscrossing around. Anyway, I've got a log here I could rest off. That's the plan anyway. I'm just kind of measuring this up to make sure that's going to work. And I'm going to reduce the zoom because the trees are thick. I need a better picture of it. Alright, round 2. So there's been a good few days of rain out here, and it's about 5 days since I was here for my last little walk around. So yeah, let's see what's going on. Tristan's been kind enough to lend me his Land Cruiser and his rifle. So I've got 3006 to play with today, which is fantastic. It's something different. And plenty of knockdown power, and it's very comfortable to use. Yeah, so let's see what happens. The need for meat is stronger than ever, and a goat or a deer would be great. I'll probably focus on goats just because I really do need to put something in the freezer. So yeah, it'll be good to have a drive, good to have a good hunt. Alright, well it's the middle of the day and it's warmed up a lot, which is kind of nice change. So I'm not going to go hunting straight away. I've got a nice little creek down here that links up to a larger creek, and I'm going to go fishing. So I guess it's definitely not a question of either hunting or fishing, because when I'm doing any outdoor activity, and I mean any outdoor activity wherever possible, I'm never not hunting. I'm always looking for sign. I can't help it. I'm obsessed with this shit. But you need to have that mentality that you're covering ground. You'll always see a feed area. You'll always see a potential scrape. You'll always see a game trail or droppings or whatever. It's always on your mind. And more to the point, animals, especially whilst it's been dry and warm, will hang around the creeks a lot. So it only makes sense that whilst I'm fishing, I'm also hunting. We'll have a rifle over my back and see how that goes. Later on this arvo, I'll probably focus just on hunting and go for a little poke around through some colder gullies where there might be a few goats around, and hopefully I can fill the freezers. Good times. Ah, fuck yeah. Fuck you, cat. Oh! Well, I'm on to goats. Let's see if I can zoom in on them. There we are. Now, I've gotten this far without scaring them, so I'm going to still stay at shield. We're right on a boundary edge here, and I've got to just suss that out of the GPS before I pull triggers, but they all look like an eater. dumb. So I've tried making noise to call them, and it seems to have freaked them out. Oh, about an hour and a half left to light, so I'm going to have a punt in the feeding area. Let's see what goes. That's a good sign. Yep. Yeah, well, someone else bombed up the place, and this one was just the perfect eater. And it's just so small and tender and tasty, and I just want to cut it open, but just a little bit ripe, I think. I'm tempted. It's bloated. Nah, don't be stupid, bro. You go shoot your own. Ah! Well, at least some guys had a good weekend. Well, I just keep finding bones and carcasses, and I just don't like my chances, so I'm going to just haul out, and maybe with the last few minutes of light I'm going to check out one last little spot. So take 2 days hunting like that. No animals dropped the deck, no fish got on my line. Everyone's ideas of success is a bit different to others. In my mind, is that successful? Of course it is. Every single moment spent in the bush hunting, learning and experiencing from what you're seeing is a success. It is one step closer to achieving your broader hunting goals. When the rewards come, is that up to us just because we've traded a certain amount of time and effort and technique that just equals a goal? Of course it doesn't. Nature doesn't work that way. But every step that we take and every time we decide to go out there, we are getting closer to those goals. The question I want to put in some of your minds, and I've got to put this out there because I get a lot of emails from people, and basically they might spend half a day out here hunting doing something that was suggested and say, well, why didn't I get the animal? Why don't you get everything you want in life all at once? It doesn't work that way. All these animals, all this game out there that we pursue is actively trying to run away from us. They're actively trying to not be hunted. All you can do is keep putting that persistence and that effort in. My question out there is, how much do you actually love the process of hunting itself? Or are you so just obsessed with the reward, the idea of what's going to be achieved one day eventually, that the whole process in the lead up to it is just useless and unenjoyable? You have to love being out there. Being in nature is a beautiful thing. For example, on the way out from this last hunt, I'd run out of battery, I'd run out of SD card space, and an area that I'd always walked through on the way to these areas had deer sign in it. I've never seen deer sign there before in my life. And I didn't even have to see any animals, I didn't even have to see any deer for that to just be this complete mind-awakening moment where I know the herd has moved. They've shifted to an area where they haven't been for the last 2 or 3 seasons before. This is big news. I can look at a map and say, they're shifting, they're expanding. It raises a whole bunch of other questions. Why have they shifted there? Why have they expanded there? Is it hunting pressure? Is it hunting pressure in another area? Is there more feed? Is it the weather? And it's just getting me closer and closer and closer to my goals. Look at this fella up here. Now, I don't have him up there to boast to anyone. Me and Tristan are the ones who see him the most. The reason I have him, I call him Sam, the reason I have him up there is because when I ate his flesh, and every time I look at him, I know that I achieved something amazing and beautiful through a lot of dedicated, hard work. I didn't know when it was going to come. I just wanted it. So that raises another question. How much hard work would you do? What lengths are you prepared to go to achieve these goals? How much legwork would you go to because you love it, because you want these? That's what I'm just trying to put out there. Look, I'm not the most articulate person in the world. Sometimes I struggle to get my messages across clearly. But if there's one thing to take away, please, love the journey. Love every moment that you spend out in the bush hunting, and take every small little gain as an extra jigsaw piece in a wonderful puzzle towards success. It's detective work. Love it. Enjoy it. Be motivated by it. The difficulty in achieving these goals sometimes only adds more value to the animals that we're hunting as well. And when you drop that large boar, that trophy class deer, or just bring meat home to yourself and your families, you'll feel like a legend. And you'll feel like a legend because you are one. Guys, I love to get my good times natural. I hope you do too. Massive